Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shannon Margaret B and I'm so happy to have you here. I love thrifted and backlist books and usually some crafting. This vlog unfortunately does not include crafting because we did go to Boston this past weekend. We had a wedding outside of Boston in a town called Plymouth, so we decided to make the trip a little bit longer, and since we were already going to be driving past it, we decided to include Boston into our trip and make it a fun weekend trip. I will give credit where credit is due. My husband planned this entire trip because I was in the throes of tax busy season, so I was like, if we're gonna go, it's right after the deadline and you need to plan it. And he really planned such a great weekend, so I'm so grateful to him for that. But for the trip, I decided to bring along The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva. I had really been anticipating this one and I was so excited I was able to thrift it. My copy's pretty bad. I think I got it for $2, but I was really excited when I was able to find this one. But I thought since we were going for a wedding weekend, it'd be fun to read The Perfect Marriage. I unfortunately realized as I was vlogging, I did not actually come in for any updates, so I will be popping in and out for some reading updates and let you know how the book went. Boston was so fun. I got in on Friday and I did get about 100 pages in of The Perfect Marriage. This book is following Sarah, and she is a criminal defense lawyer, and she's very successful and like the best in her industry, and she's always busy. So her husband Adam actually ends up having an affair at their second home, which is a lake house where he goes to write, and the woman he has an affair with ends up murdered in that house, and Adam is suspect number one. So Sarah kind of jumps on the bandwagon to help defend him, even though she's pissed at him. I really liked the teeing up of the book. There were some things that I thought were kind of silly in the beginning, and I was like very confused of why like so much information was free flowing throughout the book. But I really did like the setup of the characters, and I thought it was really grippy in the beginning and like definitely drew you in, so I was almost excited for our car ride home to get to finish it. The first day, Friday, was so fun. Me and my husband love breweries, so we always make sure to throw in some breweries anywhere we go in the United States, just because breweries have become like such a popular thing lately, and it's something that like we bond over and really enjoy. So we did throw in that. And then our dinner was so good. So we actually stayed in Back Bay, Boston. So there's different pieces to Boston. But Boston was so busy, and we didn't realize that the Boston Marathon was actually happening on that Monday. So that's why we were seeing everyone like walking around in like these bright blue like sweatshirts, and they were holding all their like marathon check-in bags. And then we actually got to go past where the finish line was, so that was really cool. And it was like a very cool area to be in, and there was just so many runners like taking pictures there. And I've been to the New York City Marathon, I've never been to the Boston Marathon, but you could just like feel like the anticipation and excitement in the area, and it was so cool. So that was just like a little fun like oopsies that we did not realize we booked this trip for marathon weekend. So like even our hotel like had a marathon arch for all the runners, and like when we were sitting down at bars, people were like, "Are you running?" And we're like, "No, we're here to eat and drink and go to a wedding." Where we went after Lolita was actually something that I found on the fly, which was a speakeasy called Hecate, and it was like this Greek-inspired speakeasy, and you had to find like this random door, and it literally was in between dumpsters, like down an alley. It was kind of freaky, but we luckily, I think we would have given up trying to find it because it was kind of hard to find, but luckily there was this other family that was kind of circling around, and it was like, and they were from New Hampshire, and they were trying to find the speakeasy too, so we like both were trying to find it and were able to find it. And so I think it was fun because like I don't think if we had that family that we would have committed to it. But we went down there and it was crazy. Like you can't have your phone flashlights on, you can't really have your screens too bright. Literally the bathroom door has to close before the bathroom light clicks on for you. Like, it's very dark and creepy down there, and like we just got so lucky because all the reviews were like you could end up waiting a couple hours, and they took us right away. And it was amazing. Like, the menu had like a secret menu behind it. It was just like a cool, fun experience. But yeah, after that we got snacks from Trader Joe's, and then we went back to the hotel and we ended up rewatching a few episodes of Ted Lasso, and now we are like deeply in a Ted Lasso rewatch. We did a lot. We got breakfast in Back Bay, and then we drove and were able to find a very cheap parking lot because I did not realize how expensive parking is in Boston. But we were able to find a super cheap parking lot by Quincy Market in Seaport. We actually walked around Seaport a lot. We ended up unfortunately having such bad weather, and we both did not bring jackets because it was so hot when we left that we just didn't even consider that the weather would completely change on us. I was kind of worried about the market because a lot of it is outside, but we ended up actually enjoying like going into the shops and shopping around a lot. We like to collect ornaments from our trips, so we got this one. It's just a moose with a crab and it says Boston on it, but I just thought he was so cute, and I thought he would also like kind of stand out on our tree, so that was fun that we kind of went on our little ornament hunt, and it was quite hard to find them. And then we did 2 breweries, and then also as we were just moseying around, I had looked up some bookstores, but I didn't really want to make it like a thing that we had to go out of our way to go to these bookstores, and both the bookstores I wanted to go to just happened to be where we were walking, and I completely forgot about them by the time we were walking around there. So that was really fun because I got to go into some bookstores. So the first bookstore we went into was called Uncommon. It was called Commonwealth Books, and what are the odds that I got The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, and this copy is almost brand new. And it was just so funny because I really was not interested in any of the books that were in there. It was cool because it was a lot of like very, very old books and collector editions mixed with like some contemporary like newer titles. A lot of like YA weirdly were mixed in as well. But when I saw this, I was like, this was just meant to be. Like, I just had my Peter Swanson vlog and I just became obsessed with him. I can't wait to read this, so I'm definitely doing a part 2 to my Peter Swanson reading. I think it was called Brattle Bookshop, and it was really busy inside. I will say you can like walk around. There were like a lot of books outside, which was really cool, but everything's pretty old, and then inside there's absolutely no fiction inside, so I'm still happy we went and like saw everything, and seeing like an outdoor book market like that was really cool. But yeah, unfortunately I didn't see anything for like collector books, but it was still really cool to see. And we headed out to Plymouth for the wedding. Wish I took a clip of how beautiful the property was, but it was a wedding venue on a lake in Plymouth, and it was just beautiful. It was freezing cold, and they did get married outside, but then we got to quickly go inside, and it was a beautiful night. On the way home I read a lot of The Perfect Marriage, and then when we got home it was early Sunday and I just laid in bed all day and ended up finishing this. I'm ultimately giving this a 2.5 out of 5, unfortunately. This book, I will absolutely read another Jeneva Rose. Like, this book really gripped me, and especially like on a trip, I feel like I need like a grippy book to get into it because you have so many distractions like driving and whatever, and props to my husband for doing all the driving so that I was able to read quite a bit. But got a bit silly. There was so much information, like none of it felt like it was like sacred information. Like, Sarah would find out information and tell her husband Adam, but then also like, why are we supporting Adam because he's a scumbag? This one relationship between Sarah and one of the police officers was like helping her, and I was like, why are the police helping a criminal defense lawyer? You're supposed to be helping the state. And the defense attorney is like sharing information with Sarah, and Sarah's sharing information with him. And I'm like, I don't think that this is how this normally works. Like usually you try to find like a thread and then you don't really like put it out there until the trial. And I just thought it was really silly. I thought there was like this thing surrounding 3 sets of DNA. One was her husband's, one was Adam's, and then there was an unknown one. I think it was so bizarre that they did not try harder to figure out who the 3rd set of DNA was. I was like, this is the smoking gun. Like, why are we, like, it lost me a bit. I did feel like I was like intrigued and I wanted to read, and I really, really wanted to know what happened. Like, I was very into the book, feeling like I was like, this, like, why? Like, I don't understand why we're doing these things. Everybody knew everything, and I feel like with these, when you read like these court case books, which I will say this does not really feel like a court case book. The court case is like so short and quick at the end. Usually there's a lot of like secrecy and like you can't let the defense know this and whatever. And it was just very strange. I actually really enjoyed Jeneva Rose's storytelling though, so I really want to read, I've wanted to read Home is Where the Bodies Are. I think it's like where these parents pass away and the kids are cleaning out the parents' house and like find a videotape of like some horrific crime that happened or something, and that sounds really good. And I actually would read the sequel to this that came out, The Perfect Divorce, just because I do kind of like Sarah, I guess, and I'm gonna assume the second one is following Sarah. I'm glad I read it, and it was fun to read it on like a wedding weekend because I'm watching people say their vows to each other and it's beautiful, and then on the way home I'm like reading about this absolute turmoil of a marriage, so it was just kind of a very funny juxtaposition for the weekend. So if you've read any other Jeneva Roses, let me know because I definitely want to pick her books up again. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!